Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Ray here at Talking Madrid, and I wanted to go over the press conference that Xabi Alonso had after our long anticipated win against Pachuca 3-1 today. The game was not what I expected. I was not expecting Asensio to get the red card so early in the game. I was really excited to see a lot of the new tactics and that Xabi Alonso has been trying to implement with his team. I feel like everyone has been kind of like waiting and wanting to see the evolution of this team from the Ancelotti to the Alonso team, but unfortunately due to that red card that did not happen. But I will say that I was pleasantly surprised in the way that we handled the game as we continue to go forward. Obviously, we got the red card, but then we actually ended up winning the game 3-1. I think there was a lot of sacrifice from a lot of the team. I know that it could have looked like what it was going to be like last year. Like last year, whenever we went down, it didn't look like, we had a lot of fight and we were kind of just like waiting for the season to end. But with this new team, even though we went down, down a man, it was 10v11, we still had the impetus and we still took the initiative to take the attack towards Pachuca. I understand it's Pachuca. I understand there's a certain level of quality with when you play the likes of Pachuca, but I was still really impressed in how the team decided to react towards that red card. All three of the goals, mind you, we scored one of them on a counterattack, but all three of the goals was really a collective effort. And it was a very good team play, whether it be like the ball from like Hoyson to Vinicius, or like the flick on from Fran Garcia to from Gonzalo Garcia to Fran Garcia that set up the attack for Jude to score as well. The goal for Fede Valverde, all of it was really encouraging to see. Despite the fact that we got the red card with Asensio. But I kind of wanted to go over some of the comments that Xabi Alonso said towards the press. So it starts out here, Xabi Alonso, the team has shown discipline and sacrifice. So Xabi Alonso started by saying, I'm not going to say that the 3 goals came because we worked on the attacking midfielders, but we did talk about it during the hydration break. They have the quality and their finishing was fantastic. It gave us an advantage in a difficult situation, being a man down from the 7th minute. The team showed discipline and sacrifice, knowing how to control the game without the ball. We knew that if we'd won the ball back, we could come out on top, and that's how the goals came. The 3-0 was important to avoid being squeezed if we conceded, as happened later. It's a victory that really strengthened us both football-wise and mentality to compete in this championship. We had to defend with one less man in a low block, and you have to know how to suffer and how to have humility to find the right moment. The defensive line held the box well, and we had good periods of possession. We took away many positives, especially the 3 points. We weren't able to show how hard we worked. We had to adapt to the game, maintaining balance and maintaining possession so the players felt comfortable. I think one of the things that I've noticed the most about Xabi Alonso throughout these 2 games is the fact that if something's not going correctly, or something that they worked on in practice, that it's not coming to fruition on the field, he's able to make the tactical changes so that we can once again take the initiative to the team. Obviously the red card happened, the team was all out of balance, out of whack, because that was not what they had practiced in obviously the past 2 weeks. So when they had the hydration break, that's when he made the decision to actually put Vinicius up as the center forward, move Gonzalo Garcia out to the left wing, just to really help with the press and to have solidity in 2 lines of 4 when we're defending, especially because you're man down. I think he goes on to say that essentially the things that they did practice for the last week, they weren't able to show just because of the fact is they were down men 10v1. There are many, but the main thing is to develop an understanding so we can recognize ourselves in each match. That takes time. We also want to develop the culture of using context. We need that game intelligence, and today we had to change quickly. After the hydration break, we talked, and from then on, we played a great game. I pretty much said the same thing. Once the hydration break came out, he tweaked a few things. I think like I said, he brought Vinicius forward. He put Gonzalo Garcia back. Also, there was a conversation of actually moving Fede Valverde because he was the advanced center mid, and when we had 11 players, he decided to bring him actually back and actually ask Arda Güler to actually move forward to more of that advanced midfielder. And that's particularly because Fede Valverde is just he has a more physically imposing body, right? He's a little bit taller, he's a little bit faster, stronger on the ball, and you actually wanted to keep him there in more of a holding role, and then allow Arda Güler to really be that creative input into the squad to be able to at least pick up the ball from deep if you need to, but also have the time and space to move forward to kind of finish off a lot of the moves, as you can see with the second goal today. Asensio's expulsion, the racist act against Rudiger. The expulsion was unavoidable. We support Tony, and we'll see what happens. The FIFA protocol is activated, and we support him. It's unacceptable, and we believe what he said. They're currently investigating. Yeah, the expulsion was avoidable. I think he goes on to say that, in another quote that I don't see here, is that he said that this is a learning moment for Asensio. Asensio is still a young center back. You know, Asensio is 22, but in the grand scheme of things, he is still pretty young. 22 is young. And I would think that a center back of his quality and experience, because he was with the first team for majority of last season and he was starting in all those games, that he wouldn't be making these mistakes. He's made two very crucial mistakes in the first two games. And I know that, you know, obviously Xabi Alonso is going to be very professional in the way that he speaks about his players to the press. But I feel like he, you know, both of those didn't put Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid in the best light for the first two games. I think a lot of people still have question marks on, you know, is he the right person? You know, like, what are they actually learning? Will it actually work with these kind of players? And he hasn't really been able to show a lot of that just due to the fact of all the circumstances that have come about for these past two games. So yeah, I think he was correct. And I think he, like I said, he said in a quote earlier that that the PK was unavoidable, and it was actually better if it's better to have at least 11 men rather than 10 and not take the red card and like let them score if that was to happen. And the thing is, like, when you have a goalkeeper of the quality of Thibaut Courtois, who's essentially the best keeper in the world, you know, I would take that gamble. You rather have them take the gamble and not get the red card and allow the forward, you know, to shoot on his weak foot against the best goalkeeper in the world, rather than obviously getting the red card and then now the rest of the team has to suffer for the final 85 minutes. So like I said, it's a learning experience. I'm assuming that the staff and the team are obviously going to crowd around Asensio, make sure that he doesn't feel too bad about it. The team work together, you know, to be able to get the result. But this is something that cannot happen unless you're talking, not even actually, I was going to say, unless like it's like the dying minutes and you have to take a red against like Barcelona to win the game or something like that. But getting a red card 5 minutes into the game is just is unacceptable. The praise for Valverde. I haven't seen many players with his physical performance. He reminds me of someone like Steven Gerrard. He can play anywhere, and I'm very happy to be coaching him. All coaches would like to have Valverde on the team. He got rid of the bad taste in his mouth from the penalty the other day, and his determination was evident in his celebration. 100%. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs in football, and I think one of the biggest things, I forgot exactly who came up with the quote, but I heard you hear it quite a lot, where it's like, you don't get too high, don't get too low, just kind of be really even killed with that. And if you can, some players can't, but like I think that's like kind of like the best way to go about it. Valverde did miss the penalty. And I think it was like in the 80th or 80 plus minute or something like that. But I think one of the best traits about Fede Valverde is that he's going to try again and again. He's going to give his all for the team, and he didn't allow that penalty miss last game to really affect him in this game. And like I said, he got the goal in the end. He suffers, he works hard, he sacrifices for the team, and that's all you can ask for a captain, which is Fede Valverde, obviously, until Modric comes into the pitch. Mbappe, I'm looking forward to having him back. We have to see how he progresses day by day. We have to wait. Now we're going to Florida, and we'll see how he is. We're waiting for him. We're going back to Florida. We flew all the way to Charlotte. And, I mean, I'm guessing probably like the flight isn't that long from like Charlotte to Miami, but still, we're going back there. We just got to North Carolina. But yeah, I'm assuming that I'm assuming that Mbappe is going to be able to feature sometime. I think we play on Wednesday or Thursday or so. I think Mbappe should be able to feature at least like 45 minutes, right? We want to give him like some minutes under his belt. You know, hopefully by that time the gastroenteritis should be leaving. The antibiotics should have run its course. He should be somewhat fit. We got to see how he looks in this new Xabi Alonso era. I want to see where he actually puts him. In my prediction, when Mbappe comes back, and whoever watches, you saw I said it here first, that I think that he might play Mbappe as the right wing. You know, I think that he might put Vinicius, Gonzalo Garcia, and Mbappe, and have Gonzalo Garcia play almost like the Benzema role, where he is a striker, but his first inclination is to feed the rest of his other attackers. I said it here first. Well, I'm just really intrigued to see what he's going to do with Mbappe, just with how much he wants his wide players to have the space to 1v1 the outside backs, to be in isolation, and you have two of the best players to take on like outside backs or defenders, which is Vinicius and Mbappe. Both have electrifying pace. Both of them are just hungry to score goals, and yeah, I'm just really excited to see that. It was incredibly hot, but the humidity wasn't as high as it was during the first game. It helps when the temperature is cooler, but it is what it is. You can't change it, and you have to accept it. Yeah, that comes with playing in America during the summer. It's very hot and very humid when you go East Coast. The affection for Modric is exciting. He deserves it for who he is. I hope he enjoys the affection that all football fans around the world have for him. They all recognize the legendary stature of his football, and today he came out and played a great game. I thought so as well. I thought the subs that came in, like Modric and Ceballos, definitely brought in a lot of calm, a lot of pausa, and a lot of control into the midfield, especially when you have the likes of Huijsen as well in the back to help with a lot of the circulation. Like the whole team just played so well, and I understand this against Pachuca, and I know that it was at the waning minutes of the game. Pachuca was really tired. They spent a lot of energy trying to attack Real Madrid. Luckily enough, we have enough quality in our squad to be able to hold back even if we're down a man. But Modric was so calm on the ball. Ceballos had a very good cameo. I was really surprised they didn't play last game, but this game they decided to throw him in there to really kind of like kill the game and just circulate the ball. I thought it looked really good. I'm definitely gonna miss Modric. I was in the camp of that, if he's willing to, he doesn't have to play. I understand like Modric wants to play because he wants to play in the World Cup next summer. So you have to give him some minutes. So unfortunately, it wouldn't work, because we have to start developing a lot of this young talent that we have, especially Arda Güler, in which we didn't even speak about Arda Güler when he said there's a lot more. He's extremely happy with Xabi Alonso. Extremely happy to be here. He's got a lot more Arda Güler. It's going to be a lot more Arda Güler at Real Madrid. So you can already tell how happy Arda Güler is, and how influential he is for the team. But for Modric, I wish he could stay another year just for the leadership, just to be in the locker room. But I also understand that sometimes, good things have to come to an end. You have to part ways, and this might be, this is it for us. So every single time that Modric is on the field, we just got to really cherish it and for everything that he's done. I remember his first game under Mourinho, and then now I'm going to remember his very last game under Xabi Alonso. So, but anyways, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that, talk to you a little bit about the game. If you haven't seen my match ratings, please check it out. It's on the channel. It's probably up somewhere, popping up pretty soon here. But yeah, the game was 3-1. It was a different game than I was expected. I was very down about that red card. I thought I was going to ruin it, but the team, pleasantly surprised me with the collective teamwork all around. We have a great group of players. I do think that there are some holes in this team, especially when it comes to like the right wing. We don't have someone like Vinicius, who's a right-footed left winger. We don't have a left-footed right winger. Franco Masantuano is a left-footed player, but he's more of an advanced midfielder center attacking mid. Whenever I see him, he's always, at the past two games, I watch all the River Plate games for the Club World Cup. He always is trying to. He always drifts towards the middle to be able to influence a lot of what goes on with River Plate. There's a lot of times where he's kind of isolated on that wing. He kind of phases in and out of games, and I feel like Xabi Alonso is gonna ask him to do something, but he's not really a pacey winger. Something like Vinicius, Vinicius has a lot of trickery, and Vinicius is quick. He's not super fast, but he is very quick, so he's able to beat that man 1v1 or beat 2v1 in certain instances like that. Masantuano is going to be something a lot like Arda Güler, where he was on the right hand side, but he always wanted to drift into the middle to get into the spaces, into those half spaces in between the center defensive mids and then and the center backs. So I think that's a profile we need. I think Gonzalo Garcia has been excellent, and he's playing the role excellently, and he's doing what he needs to be part of the first team. I don't know if he is at this moment good enough to be a starting center forward for Real Madrid, but I definitely can see him coming off the bench and providing very useful minutes for us. I'm still in team get Ante Budimir if you can get him for 8 million, 10 million. If that's the difference of winning a Champions League and not, I don't see why not. I don't see the reason. Hey, if you can even get him, because during the 30th, what is it, after June 30th, and I believe the transfer window opens again. If you can get Ante Budimir, get Budimir then. Pay the 10 million, get him in. Get him in the next 2-3 days. Get whatever personal agreements you need to get him in for this tournament so we can win this tournament. Right now, I obviously think that Real Madrid always will win. I'm a Madridista to the day I die. There's an expectation for Real Madrid always to kind of win these tournaments. But I also say that there are there's some strong teams in this tournament. Juventus has pleasantly surprised, not pleasantly, but I mean, they surprised me. Like, they're just absolutely destroying their teams. I think Man City plays in a few hours. I'm excited to see them with their new signings. Bayern Munich is kind of just rolling over everybody. They're not rolling over, but I think they won 2-1 yesterday. Inter Milan is looking pretty good. And then, you still have PSG, or the reigning European champions. So, like, there's a lot of work to be done. Obviously, there's still a lot of time left. Like, there's about 3 to 4 days per game. A lot of work can be done. Rudiger is coming back from injury. He should play like another 45 minutes. But I do believe that we need a right winger. I think we need another forward. I think we need a creative midfielder, whether that be Arda, and Arda's going to take on that Wirtz role, who's like essentially going to help with progression, but also pop up at the on top of the box like he kind of did today. And I do believe that we need to have a conversation about having pacier center backs. Right now, for lock, we have Dean Huijsen. Fran's doing an excellent job. Trent's going to be inverting, but he's not too pacey. And then you have Tchouaméni, who has the ability to play at center defensive mid, as well as going back into a deep ball playing center back. But we still don't have a lot of pace back there. So maybe a conversation of maybe Mosquera. I think there is Mosquera is like a 20 million. I think, was it 20 million? It's something like that. I think his release clause is like 20 million. He's 20 years old at Valencia. He's a Spain youth. Spain international. I think he was playing at the U21 Euros recently with Spain. I think that's a great market opportunity for Real Madrid to really pounce upon. So those are just some of my thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the noti bell to alert you whenever I post up. I always live stream all the Real Madrid games, especially for the Club World Cup this entire summer. I'll be live streaming every single one of those games. I like to do the press conferences. I like to do the post game press conferences as well. If there's good reactions on ESPN FC, or if there's good reactions on CBS Golazo, or any of those big big channels or big media outlets, I will do the reaction. Those reactions will be on the Talking Madrid Extra channel, which I think there will be a card somewhere up here. Click. You should see, the link should be in the bio, in the description, or you should see like the little alert up there in the corner. But thank you guys so much for watching this, and all I can say is, Ala Madrid y nada más. Thank you guys so much. Peace.